Hello and welcome to our live webcast. I am Ludo Farage, Chief Executive Officer of Nucamp. And with me today, I have Zandra Kubota, who's our Nucamp advisor as well as instructor. Hello, Zandra. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
All right. So thank you for joining. Good morning. I see you on YouTube. Just to let you know that we are going to monitor the chatter on YouTube as well as Facebook. And we're going to answer your questions in about 30 minutes. So the way it's going to work is Zandra and myself are going to do a quick overview of Nucamp, try to cover as many topics as we can, things that we know you're interested in. And then the last 30 minutes of this webcast, we'll just go back to your comments here. Hello, Matt. Good morning, everyone. We'll go back to your comments on YouTube as well as Facebook, and we'll actually answer them. So we will be looking forward to that. Okay, so obviously, first question is, what is Nucamp? Well, we think of ourselves as obviously a coding bootcamp, but a slightly different one. We are a coding bootcamp with a very strong social mission to bring technology education for everyone, no matter where you live, no matter how much money you have, can you register or not. We really want to make technology education affordable and accessible to everyone. And to be able to do that, what we've actually accomplished is really rethink the whole coding bootcamp model so that our tuition will be one of the most affordable tuition that is out there. And of course, we did that without wanting to sacrifice on quality at all. So we'll explain the level of support, the quality of what we do, and how actually we are able to do that in 180 cities throughout the US, which is another thing where we really try to build those local communities very much where you live. I'm pretty sure wherever you are right now, we probably have a Nucamp community not too far away. Obviously, with COVID, it was a little bit more challenging, but we'll get into that. And then last but not least, we are number 3 in the US right now in terms of ratings on Course Report, on Career Karma, Switch Up. So a lot of really students and graduates share their experience back with you through those websites. And if you go out there, you'll see there's a ton of really good feedback. And we're pretty happy with that as well. Now, the next thing that you probably have in your mind is, okay, this sounds great, but you're doing a research and you're really wondering, okay, how different are you? What makes you different? What makes you special? How should I think about Nucamp? And especially since we are providing such a low tuition. And so the very first thing that maybe many of you are actually doing is looking into online coding and online learning. And that's a great first step, I would say, for anyone who's interested in joining the tech industry. What's great about the online bootcamps or anything that you learn on your own online is it's very accessible. No matter where you live, you can go on vacation and still have access to your learning. And it's very affordable as well. I mean, there's nothing really less expensive than pure online learning. You can go on Udemy and buy, I don't know how many courses for just $10. And you're going to have a wealth of content at your fingertips, 200 worth of videos. I mean, it could be very overwhelming sometimes as well. So that's really what's great about online learning is you can do it anytime on your own for very much not expensive at all. The side effect of that is you are very much on your own. You are on your own in terms of deciding what you're going to learn, what you're going to focus your time on. And on your own, most of the time, when you actually feel the need to have someone helping you, that's very hard to come by. You're not going to find easily that instructor, that teacher or tutor that's going to really help you when you need it the most. And so with that, what's happening is there's only 3% of learners, of people who start to learn online, who are actually accomplishing anything. 97% will actually drop out and stop on their journey. So that's the negative aspect of just learning online. Then on the other side of the spectrum, you will have the traditional bootcamps. And what's great about traditional bootcamps is they really offer an immersive experience, meaning you are going to learn sometimes 10 hours a day with other people. You're going to go to a campus. It's very much a traditional college experience where you're going to be immersed. You're going to do that every day of the week, Monday through Monday, with others. And some coding bootcamps are actually better than others in that space. Like they're going to have, better instructors or better content. But by and large, that's going to be really that immersive experience that you're going to search and appreciate. Now, just like every nice things, there's a side effect. There's another side of that, and which is it's very expensive most of the time. It's going to be $15,000, $20,000, $40,000, and so it's all about, well, can you afford it? And then it's going to be full time. If you do want to have that immersive experience, that means you're going to have to be full time. And what if you have a job? What if you have a job that pays the bill right now? And so it's going to be a lot of risk taking on your end to decide to maybe quit your job, to decide to pay the high tuition. And then with COVID, the pandemic, many of those bootcamps actually don't offer that immersive experience at all anymore. Like their campuses are closed. So it's another thing to consider when thinking about, I want to be immersed. So you can imagine what's in the middle. It's Nucamp. And what we did was really looking at the best of both worlds. The accessibility, the affordability that you will find online, the flexibility of starting, stopping, but also on the other side, the immersive aspect, the support that you get when you're in a traditional coding bootcamp. And so we came up with Nucamp saying, hey, it's going to be a hybrid model where you're going to be part online, part live and in person before COVID. And you're going to be one of 12 students. You're not going to be one of thousands. You're going to be one of 12. You're going to have a dedicated instructor that's going to be there for you. We're going to give you the right level of structure. You're going to know exactly what you're supposed to do and what you're expected to do. And then the price point is going to be very different. It's not going to be $15,000. It's going to be less than $2,000. And so that's very much how we think about Nucamp. We have created a different type of experience for you. We are pretty much the only one doing that. And so that I hope that's helpful in your decision-making process. All right, so a little bit of history. We started in 2017 in the state of Washington. We've trained about 7,000 students so far and run about 1,500 bootcamps. So we've been here for quite a while, even though maybe some people will find that we're not as known as others in the industry. We've actually had a good experience running Nucamp. And as I mentioned, if you go to Course Report or Career Karma, you'll find that we have tremendous student feedback. None of those student feedbacks have been paid for, or we didn't tell them what to write. We just ask students and graduates to share their thoughts, and they do. And so that's what you'll read over there. We have 3 bootcamps, and Zendra will go into the details a little bit more in about 5-10 minutes. But you should understand that those bootcamps are tailored for beginners. So if you're total beginners, you will start with a 4 weeks bootcamp, as well as for more advanced students who could start with the front end or the full stack. And of course, it's designed in a way that if you're a total beginner, you'll start with a 4 weeks bootcamp, and then you can continue on. You will be prepared to continue on to the more advanced bootcamps. And as I said, Zendra will cover the details of that. You can see here our tuition. By default, we offer a free tuition plan. It's going to be paid monthly. But then I think it's the next slide. We also have payment plans or student loans that make it even more. There you go. So we're partnering with Climb Credit to offer student loans for students who want to have even more flexibility in paying off the tuition. One of them is pretty incredible, is you can pay just $8 a month for the duration of your learning, so about 4 to 5 months, and just start to repay the loan for 12 or 18 months after that. But that's still going to cost you, if you take 18-month monthly payment, about $90 a month, and you'll be fully paid. What's great as well is those student loans, the total cost of the loan is less than $500, no matter which one you pick. So that's something to consider. And as I mentioned, I see all the questions here on YouTube. JJ has one, Mikey has one. We'll get to that in about 20 minutes now. So keep asking those questions and we'll answer them in about 20 minutes. Okay, the curriculum format. So it's a hybrid format, meaning you actually do not have to quit your job during the week. Monday, I will say Sunday through Friday, we tell you what we expect you to do very precisely on a day-by-day basis, but you do that when it's the most convenient for you. So if you have, if you're working a weird shift, like 3 a.m. to, I don't know, 9 a.m. or noon, you can actually plan around that and just do your learnings in the afternoon. There's no set time for you during the day to learn, but we do expect you to allocate about 3 to 5 hours a day, I would say. So then on Saturday, we have a live instructor-led engagement, a live instructor-led workshop that before COVID was in person. But with COVID, we had to move that to online. And this is when you're going to work with your fellow students on the end of week assignment. You're going to be helped with your instructor, and that's going to be the assignment that's going to be graded by your instructor as well. And then it's a rinse and repeat. Every week, you'll start a new set of content, and then you'll end the week on that Saturday workshop. Scotty, I see that you want to do something about your registration. We'll help you out in about 20 minutes. We'll see what we can do for you, and we may actually redirect you to our student administration team. So stay tuned. We'll do that for you. All right. What makes us quite special and very proud, I must say, is how we've been able to bring in seasoned professionals to be our instructors. Because we're part-time, we are able to bring in people who are actually working full-time in the industry, full-time in your industry, in your city or in your region. And they are going to really teach you to code, not because they want the additional payroll or the additional compensation, but because they care. And that's a world of difference. You're going to see people that are really passionate about helping others get into the industry. They're going to give you all the tips and tricks to, which meetup to attend, how do you get into the industry in your city or in your region. And you're going to meet actually 3, 4, 5 different instructors throughout your journey. And so you'll have a really great idea of, okay, what does it mean to be a freelance, for example, or what does it mean to work in a startup, or what does it mean to work in a big company and in the IT department of that big company. So you get all those perspectives, and that's going to help you tremendously. So they're passionate, they're in your community, and they really bring a rich and diverse background to you. Lots of questions. I love that. So again, keep in mind, we'll answer them in about 15 minutes now. And this is actually the end of my section. Zandra is going to walk you through this one slide and more, talking more about the curriculum. Off you go, Zandra. Thank you for taking the lead now.
Thanks, Ludo. Yeah. With that lovely introduction, we'll get into the meat of the presentation. Well, not that was fluff, Ludo. This is the part you've probably been looking forward to. What you're going to learn. JavaScript. JavaScript is the #1 language for web development. No matter what language you learn, later on in your career, C, Python, Java, if you're touching anything web, eventually you're going to run into some JavaScript. So your average salary across the country, keep in mind this is average, is about 70K, and it varies a little over or a little under depending on what job market you live in. This is all in a huge state of flux. Of course, since COVID, everything's been shifting remote. So that is being shaken up a bit, but average 70K. And you can see we have more about that on our blog, Getting a Job After Our Bootcamp. Yes, and now your curriculum. What exactly are you going to learn? So you're going to start out, if you're new here with us on this live stream and you have never coded before, you're going to want to start with our web fundamentals. And welcome, by the way. And web fundamentals is going to teach you the frame of a web page, the style and colors of a web page, and the actuation force of a web page. So that's HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, kind of like the wood that makes up a house, the frame, the foundation. Then the CSS is kind of like the paint, the carpet, the drapes, and the JavaScript is kind of like the HVAC, the plumbing, the electrical that make you want to actually do stuff and interact in the house. Then that's 4 weeks. Once you've gotten that down, you'll have some basic programming concepts. You're going to take that with you for the rest of your life, no matter where you go after that. How to do loops, how to do um, um, basic operations, and so on. And then we hope you'll choose one of the main boot camps, either full stack or front end. And as you can kind of see from the arrows here, the full stack encompasses the front end. So the front end course is basically a subset of the full stack course. So when you're looking at the website and you're like, oh, which one should I pick? Just note they're the same, and full stack is a little bit longer. You get a little bit more gravy on your resume if you choose the full stack. So you start off with Bootstrap, and Bootstrap is a CSS framework that helps you build a responsive page. So in the HTML intro class, you're just having a static page that doesn't respond to the size of the display that you're viewing it on. With Bootstrap, you can get a web page that shrinks down to a cell phone size when you're looking at it on a cell phone, or that expands, possibly all the way out to a 4K TV if you've put your media queries correctly. Uh, so the web page is responsive to the display size, but it's still kind of a dumb page, so to speak, in that it's static. The user can't really do much to change the way the site is displayed, or the site can't really respond that much to the um, user's interaction. So then we need a dynamic page, and that happens with React. You may be, if you're an intermediate or advanced beginner level, then you may have already seen some React, or you may have already heard of React and you're not quite sure what it is. React is going to uh, build hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands of web pages for you, because it's like a little window, and whatever you feed into that little window um, to the user, it looks like there's thousands of pages, but really it's just uh, one little div, one little HTML element. So this is going to have a responsive website. Depending on what the user does, new pages are kind of generated for them, and that's a dynamic website. Because if you survive the React class, it's a challenging course, but you learn a lot. You'll move on to React Native, and that's for mobile development. React Native is a cross-platform development for mobile. So you can develop an app and it's for iOS or for Android. You can even develop for Windows apps with it. It's a really versatile tool, and that's how you're going to be able to build a mobile app. And this is also where you'll need a little bit of power. So check out our frequently asked questions page for the computer specs that you're going to need. A lot of you are wondering, is my laptop okay? Check out our FAQ page and look for computer specs there. Then if you're done with front end there, you can graduate. Great. If you're moving on, if you're taking full stack, you can go on to learn the server side of things. So Node and Express are more JavaScript. Node is kind of like a JavaScript engine. Express is a JavaScript framework. This is going to help you to build kind of user profiles, help you with your database in MongoDB, help you connect your front end, which is the face that the user sees, to the back end, which would be your MongoDB, where you keep your database, all your data that's going to be supplied to the user. And you'll do a little bit of authentication there too, so you can have different password protected sessions inside your app. And that's about it. Okay, so now we're going to see some of those apps. And we have this channel on our YouTube. We have this playlist on our YouTube channel. So you can feel free to go there, check it out, see what some of our top students have created before they graduated, or well, in the run up to graduation. And this is some of what you'll be doing soon, hopefully. So Ludo's going to share us one.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra. So students are working on a learning project throughout the bootcamp. And then in addition to that, they're working on their own portfolio project, either on their own or in a group. And so we asked them to do some videos to share that back. And so this is what we have. I mean, we have on the YouTube channel, we keep adding to them, like we have 36 right now. And so what can I there's one that I really like to show you. It's kind of a geeky one, where someone actually, it's kind of visual.
Mhm.
So an interesting algorithm of finding the right path. You can see someone who was planning to build a game. There you go. This is pretty cool. So it's studying the environment, what is the right path, and then that's pretty cool. Let me find another one. Oh, this one also is really interesting. Now, these are people, very often, these are people that had some level of background because they really went to something pretty deep. This one, actually, this student built a real-time chess game. And so at first he showed us how he really built the UI. And then at the end, let me actually, there you go. At the end, he's bringing a second player and we are playing on the internet together, that chess game. Boom. So pretty cool as well. Pretty cool project. But then something maybe slightly different. And I've seen some questions around React Native online. So let me talk about that real quick.
Hello.
We have here.
My name is Mitchell. I'll be walking you through my portfolio project. I would also like to add a portfolio.
So we have students who really focus their time on the mobile aspect of the bootcamp, creating a mobile app. This is this is a portfolio, kind of a Coinbase or Robinhood type of thing. So there you go. I hope you'll enjoy. Just go to our YouTube channel, and you can watch those projects in the playlist. That's very inspiring, I would say, to see that from our students. Back to you, Sandra.
Yeah, for sure. Inspiring is right. Thanks so much, Ludo. Definitely you want to take a look at that if you haven't yet. So our schedule, you're probably wondering, when does this start up? When's the next one? So you can go to nucamp.co again and just scroll down the page. There's the schedules. You can select your community and type in your zip code or your city name, and if you click register or interested, you'll be able to see even more details about the breakdown of the full month by month schedule for the course. And don't worry if one is full, because there'll be another one starting up in about 5 weeks. The boot camps start on a kind of monthly basis, so it's not any big deal if you miss one. And you can register in your city or your region, kind of a a vestige from the pre-COVID days. A lot of people didn't know that we were in person before, people who were new to our site. So we did already have online courses before that, and they were divided into regions of Eastern, Central, and Pacific. So you can register for either your city or the region that you live in. So it's really flexible, and don't miss out on the next early bird deadline to register, which is coming up March 1st. You get a discount for early registration. So you might want to put that in your phone calendar reminder so that you don't forget. And we do offer some scholarships as well. So we offer one of our veteran scholarships, which is called Warrior Rising. We have one for high school grads who are recent grads. So you can find this at nucamp.co/scholarships. Or if you're looking at the financing page still, just scroll to the bottom and it should be there for you as well. We also have a career Karma and Nucamp team up Reskill America scholarship, and that one features a laptop as well. So definitely read the details on that page. And we have the New Youth Scholarship. This is a fairly recent one, and it's for underserved or financially underserved students who've been turned down for an educational loan recently. So just check out all your options there, and let us know if you have any questions after reading it. All right, thanks, Ludo. So we have career services. You may not have known that. It is included in our tuition price. So I think it's a super great deal. A lot of people will definitely want to jump on this and take advantage of it. We have a 78% employment rate for our graduates. We have really good representation. There's more details at the website of women students, and we have a 75% graduation rate. So if you start with us, there's a lot of support. Um, Sometimes we have students who struggle and they send a direct message or something. We really try and reach out and support the students so that they can succeed and finish. We have a career services program, which gives you a career coach, and you can schedule time with your career advisor and talk about whatever topic you like, such as your interview prep, your resume. You can have a Zoom session and share your screen and say, you might want to share some screams too. You all know the job hunting process can be pretty brutal sometimes, but you have that support. You can say, hey, look at my resume right here. How does this look? How does this sound to you? It's good when you have someone who's familiar with the industry who can help you out. We also have a nationwide job board where we have reached out to employers and they've agreed to feed us their jobs first. So New Camp students get first crack at some of these exclusive job posts, and that's in our Slack. You also get LinkedIn 1 month membership. You get a career development program. It's like a little course on career development. For example, tell me about yourself. If you had to respond to that question right now, how would you do that? We can help you prepare those kind of things as well. And of course, lastly, you get lifetime access to our content and our community.
All right, and
Thanks.
so let me tell you, thank you, Zandra, by the way, thanks a lot. We'll get back together in like 2 minutes to answer your questions online. But obviously, most of you are considering and researching coding bootcamps because you are seeking a new career, something that will have a better pay, that will really have you do something that you like and enjoy. So we want to share with you 3 examples of graduates who got jobs. You can actually find way more examples online on our LinkedIn. So if you go to LinkedIn, you'll find our alumni group, and obviously you will find there hundreds of actually past graduates who got into jobs. But these are three that we wanted to highlight with you. Emily, who was a yoga studio manager, became a researcher, a multimedia specialist, working actually in coding for multimedia needs. She had some level of experience before, but what's really interesting is she actually got a job right before graduating with us. So we were able to celebrate that with her. Isaiah Thomas, what's really interesting is he didn't have any coding experience before. Really done a great job going through the bootcamp. And his first position in tech was actually after responding to one of the job posting on our job board. So you've heard us talk about, we reach out to employers monthly. We actually reach out to 1,000 employers monthly through various means. And we ask them, would you be interested in hiring one of our graduates? And those who do, we post a job to our board. And so Isaiah really got into the first position like that. Those positions that we post on our board, they're really amazing because they're pre-qualified, I would say. We already know that the employer is open to hire bootcamp graduates. And so whenever we have one, you can bet that someone is going to get a job through that one. And then Jason, very interesting past experience. He was a high-rise window washer. You know, those guys who propel down, you know, with the cord and just you wonder if they're Spider-Man or something. So that was Jason before. Really enjoyed that, actually. That was his passion. But, you know, at some point you get older and you're like, am I going to be able to do that for forever? And so he decided to switch. And so I joined the junior level front-end React development position. And it took him 4 months. Something to really know is that it may not happen straight away. You may have to really grind and be patient, but it usually pays off. So yeah, 4 months after graduating. So I think that answers where there were some questions about that. That's a good segue into our Q&A, Zandra. And so I was wondering if you saw anything online that you would like to answer at this time?
I got a shout out from Shelda Easton from my hometown of NYC. Hello, Shelda.
Oh, yeah.
And the first question from Technium Tech. How extensive should our HTML, CSS, JS knowledge be when starting full stack course? Thank you so much for the easy question. And Donna also appreciates that question. Hi, Donna. So if you're joining the full stack or front end courses, you want to be familiar with HTML, familiar with basic CSS, and also you want to know basic JavaScript, which includes how to write a for loop, how to write an if statement, how to use operators, of course, how to do DOM manipulation, how to manipulate HTML elements with JavaScript. So that's roughly basic. We have a quiz in our FAQ page. It's not a mandatory quiz. It's just for your own research and your own comfort level, knowing which course you should register for.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that connects to the question from Josu Giesberg right after that. So we do have a test, 25 questions test. We expect you to pass with a 85% correct answer. And if you do that, that means you are ready and qualified to register directly to the Full Stack Bootcamp. Let me actually switch over to the Facebook feed. We have questions from Jay Scheffler. She's wondering if we touch on vanilla JavaScript after the web development fundamental course. And the answer is yes. We actually have 3 weeks, I think, in total of JavaScript, pure JavaScript, before we get into React. I think it's 2 weeks in Bootstrap and 1 week at the very beginning of React. So we do that. And since I'm here, and I think these are the only questions that I'm seeing so far, Adrian is asking if we have a graduation ceremony, and we do. We actually have a pretty fun and very energetic graduation ceremony online, obviously, but we try to make it a special moment for everyone. So it's quite enjoyable and quite fun to join. And then, of course, you will have access to your certificate after the graduation. Back to you, Zandra.
Right. We have a question in the from Jay in the YouTube. Hey JJ, does Nucamp work with local government agencies for tuition reimbursement, such as those via unemployment benefits? I will give a short answer, and if Ludo, you want to elaborate,
Yeah.
that usually the institution the student will work with the granting institution, and then we'll get reimbursement from them. So if there's any documentation or anything that's needed, the student will want to contact those institutions first.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a state by state thing. And some agencies have their own list. So yeah, we can work with government agencies. It's a case by case basis pretty much all the time. And so we may be on their list or we may not be. When we're not on their list, there's usually a process to be on their list. So the recommendation will be really work with that agency and see where we stand with them and what will be the process for us to connect.
Okay, thanks. So next one is from Mike. Hey, Mike, Postcakes DDD. Main goal is to become more knowledgeable with SQL, Python, and Java. Will the bootcamps be covering that? At this time, we're not covering SQL, Python, or Java, but we do cover MongoDB, which is NoSQL. It's a little bit more newer technology, and Java's a good standard like for testing and stuff, but we don't cover Java. We cover JavaScript. So stay tuned to Nucamp.
Yes, we have some plans to cover actually exactly that, except Java. We are looking into having Python and SQL covered in the future. So you will come to the right place later on. I mean, right now we don't cover those, unfortunately. And then Scotty Garcia has a question for us, needing to enroll in the web development fundamentals before starting the full stack on April 22nd. And so, Scotty, we can absolutely do that. We actually, you could also do it online on your own if you wanted to. If you went to your profile, you'll be able to push out the date of your full stack bootcamp to then allow you to register for the web development fundamentals. But otherwise, if you'd like us to help, I will just say send us an email at studentadmin@nucamp.co. Let me see if I can actually write it down for you. Sometimes YouTube will reject any type of URL, but let me see if that works. Did it go through? Yep. Okay. So Scotty, if you look at the chatter, you'll see the email down below, studentadmin@nucamp.co. Let them know that you need to push it out and they'll help you out.
Right. So I got a question in the YouTube also from Prakpar Gautam. Hope I said your name correctly. And you're looking for technical co-founders, tech leads. Awesome. We have a lot of career changers at Nucamp who have domain knowledge across, a lot of industries. So they're now getting those tech skills to pair with that domain knowledge. So definitely, if you have a specific position in mind, you can check out our Hire a Grad forum at our website. So just go to nucamp.co and click on Hire Our Grads link and go ahead and use that form there.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Stephanie from Washington. Hello, neighbor. So interestingly, we are still working with the agency here to get our registration finalized. We have a pending registration for a while, and we hope, actually, finger crossed, that it's going to be resolved maybe this week, because we do have actually partners in Washington who are looking for us to be able to partner together. So stay tuned, Stephanie. If not today, maybe tomorrow, we'll actually have finally that one done and closed. It's been interesting journey in our home state. So yeah, I hope that helps that.
Okay, and I see the question from Emeka Agu. What are some of the employers there that Nucamp graduates find employment with? So one of the big ones was Scout Financial, which Ludo just mentioned. As he said, we're reaching out to thousands of employers. So Ludo, if you wanted to elaborate any on that.
Yeah, so every month we reach out through LinkedIn to HR managers, and we are explicitly saying, "Hey, this is the profile of our graduates. Uh, do you have position that they could apply to?" And out of those, some actually come back to us and say, "Yes, we do, and we'd like to hire someone from Nucamp." And so we post that to our own internal board. And then, as I mentioned, once we have those opportunities, there's like 100% chance that someone from Nucamp is going to be hired, which is great. I will actually take that question to dispel a myth that I think can hurt graduates. And the myth is that, yes, you're going to get a job at Facebook or Microsoft or Google or Amazon. And sometimes this is really presented as, the holy grail that everybody's going to reach. The reality is some graduates, a few graduates may actually get a job, their first job at Google or Microsoft or Facebook, but the majority will not. Because you just graduated, you're going to be a junior developer. Competition for those companies is really tough. And so it is the wrong approach to bet your next career move on getting directly into a Microsoft or a Google. It could be time consuming from a morale standpoint. It could be damaging as well. So what we tell our students is you should really focus your energy and time on small, medium business, startups, traditional companies, Nordstrom, for example, that have big needs in terms of IT people and people who help them build their digital platforms. And then several years later, yes, once you're not a junior person anymore, go knock on the door of we call them the FANG, the Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft. Do that, but don't think or don't place your bets on joining a big tech company right off the bat after graduating. That will be a very tough achievement to do. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like if you take a 6-month accounting course, are you going to go be able to apply for a job working at the Treasury Department or Federal Reserve or something? No, you're going to get a job at your local bank, and then you'll move up from there. So your rent check doesn't care where the money came from. Your bank account doesn't care where the money came from. So try not to fixate on those big companies. Okay, so I got a question from Darian White. Will we be guided on how to set up our resumes and finding jobs after graduation? Yes, we have that in our career services part of our website. Check out nucamp.co and click on career services. You'll have a coach after you graduate, and even before you graduate, we have a lot of that guidance and action going on in the job search channel inside of our community chat. So you'll be able to ask a lot of questions and share your resume and get that valuable feedback.
Great. Brock Larson is asking about, do we have opportunities or means to get together with other people in your cohort and study work together? Absolutely. So that's actually what we really care about, is making sure that you don't learn alone. You actually learn with your classroom, and you're part of a classroom of 12 students. And then you have access to the broader student, I will say, on Slack. So every Saturday you will learn together. And then you can also schedule time after the Saturdays as well. And so that's also, sorry, Zandra, there's another question about, do you do pair programming sessions? Yes, the Saturday session is very much a pair programming one.
Cool. So I see in the Facebook, David Adams was not able to, I might be jumping a bit here in the
Go
question,
ahead.
sorry. not able to get approved. Let's see. You can apply for Climb credit. I see you have 2 questions here, and you'll register with Nucamp, and you'll just pay a deposit, but then the rest will be covered by Climb credit, and you'll kind of interact with them after that. And if you've been turned down for some educational financing and you're not able to get approved with Climb, you can definitely apply for our New You scholarship. So check out the scholarship page, and we really try our best to make it affordable for as many people as possible.
Thank you. So Joel has some very precise questions around Bootstrap and other means to actually do responsive, including Flexbox, CSS, Grid, Sass. So we cover some of those. We focus on Bootstrap, but part of Bootstrap also we talk about Flexbox. We do actually use preprocessing as well. So for Sass, for example, we do that. And then the next question from Joe is around React Native. And is that what companies in the industry are using to build mobile apps? So there's a ton of ways to build mobile apps. So some companies will use, native tools that Apple or Google are providing. Some other companies will use hybrid tools like React Native. Some companies will use both. What's interesting to notice, though, is every year the industry is doing a big survey of web development, and they rank actually the frameworks against one another. React is number one. For example, JavaScript is number one language for years, and React Native is actually number one in terms of the framework, the preferred framework to build mobile apps. So again, number one doesn't mean that everybody uses it, but it gives you a good indication that it is a sought after framework. And if you're thinking about a hybrid framework, I would just go with React Native at this time.
So, Stephanie, your sister, were just discussing. Awesome. Hope that answered your question. And hope you and your sister enjoy the course together. Let's see. Right. You have a bachelor's in web dev, and you wanted to brush up skills, improve my skills with making responsive websites and the server side. Would Nucamp be beneficial? Yes, I would definitely say so. Some have even taken fundamentals as a refresher course. Not sure how long ago you acquired your skills and how far back you want to go, but you can get a syllabus from us if you send us an email or visit our chat or schedule a call. And server side, definitely you want to do the full stack course because that's going to teach you the back end side.
Yeah, there's a question here from Hordak. Oh, actually, before covering that one, I think Gambeta's 50/50 indicates that she has an amazing clear voice. And I think, Zendra, she's talking about you.
Why, thank you.
I will bet. So nice. Nobody comments on my voice. Okay, all right, I get it.
Love your accent, Ludo.
Hordak is saying, what is the reason MongoDB is the chosen data query language for this course versus SQL? It's more than a data query language. Actually, it's not really a data query language. It's a data store engine, just like SQL. Although you're right, SQL is a data query language as well. But I would say MongoDB is a more modern engine to handle data storage and data query. It's more modern because it was built for the internet, so it's very much more scalable, or it's easier to scale to an internet audience than traditional SQL will be. But again, SQL is interesting because it is a query language as well as an engine. MongoDB is really only an engine, and you can query MongoDB however you want. So that's for that. Well, I'll cover JJ asking, do you get to choose your projects? Is there a variety to choose from? Yes, you get to choose your project. We actually offer a few examples, but then as I showed you earlier, students actually can pick whatever they want and work on that.
Okay, so good morning, Sundar, Christopher, James, Shelda. Shout out to my New York peeps, who is a UX designer and looking to expand my skill set with some front end knowledge. Nice. How would taking front end course help advance my career potential in UX development? So, or UX design, I should say.
Let them know that you need to push it out.
Um,
Sorry. Oops.
you want to definitely take fundamentals if you don't know anything about HTML, CSS, and a lot of UX jobs. If you're already in UX design, they kind of assume that you already know HTML and CSS. So that might not be a problem for you, but the fundamentals course also includes basic JavaScript. So that might help you there. And if you take the front end course, it would help you to learn what challenges the developers go through when implementing your designs. So that would definitely um, help you out in learning about React components and how you think you're just adding a little button here or you're adding some text there, but it would help you to sympathize with your team or the development team that you're working with. So I think they would appreciate you having that knowledge.
Great.
And also, Sundar, if you missed part of the presentation, it's all recorded, so you can go back and check it out and check out the cost and duration at nucamp.co.
Just want to say thank you to Lewin Wenzer on Facebook. Lewin actually is a former student and just said, hey, highly recommend Nucamp. So sometimes we have either instructors or past students that are just popping in, saying hi and sharing their feedback. So really, really appreciate that, Lewin. Then I saw also a question about, do we accept FAFSA, which is a federal student aid program? Typically, the question should be actually asked the other way around. Do they accept us? We'll accept anyone who wants to pay for your tuition, to be honest with you. But what happens is sometimes those programs have requirements for educational institutions like ours to meet. Typically, federal financing requires that we are delivering credits and that we are delivering also a degree at the end, which is not the case for coding bootcamps. There's no degree or credit. So typically they will not accept to fund that tuition. But again, you should actually ask them.
Okay, thanks. So I think Britton Smith on Facebook, we kind of covered your question already about brushing up skills with responsive sites. Hope you got that. And how about, well, I'll let Ludo answer the cohorts one. And let's see.
Yeah, I see one here. So Jay on Facebook, will we learn how to work with and build APIs? The answer is a resounding yes. You will work with APIs throughout the front end bootcamp, and then you will build REST APIs on the back end on the last module, the last 4 weeks module, full stack. So that's yes. Trevor is asking, I'm registered for front end. Is it possible to switch to full stack later on? The answer is yes. You just need to pay the difference. So that's that easy, I will say. Do you see anything else, Sandra?
Yeah, Fander 1980 and YouTube, how many projects? And JJ, do you get to choose your projects? Fander, we have 16 projects, I believe, over 22 weeks in the full stack. You're gonna want to do at least 1 or 2, I would say 2, by graduation, have complete and polished for your portfolio. And JJ, you get to choose your project. We have some projects like our fictitious campground site, and then kind of in parallel with that, you're going to develop your own project of your own choosing. So if you have that great app idea that nobody's done or that you think you can do better, definitely you'll be able to kind of flesh that out and think about it. And I wanted to answer Tracy Miller, middle-aged woman with very limited computer skills, worked in customer service for 35 years. I want to learn something new and exciting. With the job market changes, I'm worried. So yes, everybody is a little bit trepidatious about 2021. and you can brush up on those limited computer skills. There's places like Goodwill. Goodwill has an amazing computer skills website for free. So if you look up Goodwill computer skills on a web search, you can find that and go through their videos step by step. And you might be surprised how much you know. And definitely check that out. We're excited to have you in our fundamentals course when you're ready.
Great. I'll take 3 questions here that have been posted in the row. Is there a campus in Chula Vista? The answer is yes. However, it's all online at this time, so the campus is not open. And by the way, when we have campuses, we actually typically have co-working space partnerships where students will meet on Saturdays. Dennis is asking, does it make a difference which region you're signing up for? It kind of does, because we group students per region and per city. So for example, if you sign up in Chula Vista, you're going to learn with other students who signed up in Chula Vista, even though everything is online at this time. And then it's the Saturday session is from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in that region, so in that time zone. So if you live in the East Coast and you don't want to wake up too early on Saturdays, you could actually register for the Pacific time zone or Central time zone, and it's going to be 9 a.m. in that time zone. So something to think about. That helps sometimes to adjust the schedule. And then David is asking about, hey, if things get busy at my job, can I pause? Can I just pause and then take it later when things calm down? The answer is yes. Just for $39, you can pause, retake, and you can do that as often as you want. Of course, we don't recommend it to do it too often, but you can absolutely do that.
Nice.
We have 3 minutes left, Zandra. It goes very fast, like always. So let's see.
Then Haj on YouTube, how does the ISA work? Do you pay tuition after landing a job? Selman is not an ISA. We don't reach into your paycheck and have a nice slice for ourselves. It is a FSA, Fair Student Agreement, and we have 3 lovely options at nucamp.co. Click on financing. Let's see, Trevor, Scott, can I register switch later on if you're in front end? You can upgrade from front end. If you're in the front end, you see all your classmates going on to full stack, and you're like, oh man, I want to do full stack too. Then you can upgrade. And
Jeff, go ahead. Sorry.
More. Shamir Mulji, how many hours a week outside of the Saturday class should students spend? I would say about 15 to 20 hours per week. So you want to spend at least 2 to 3 hours each day when you're in the full stack course, studying, doing the material, doing the exercises, and really coding, get that coding muscle going.
Great. Jeff is asking a percentage of employers contact who offer remote work options. It's difficult to say, but I will tell you that the tech industry has been the very first one to react to COVID by just asking their employees to work remotely. So there's a high propensity of allowing employees in the tech industry to work remotely. So that should not be too much of an issue. And then a question about, do we cover TypeScript? We do not at this time. React was not really designed to use TypeScript. You can, but it's really unlike Angular, for example, that has TypeScript built in. React is not really the same. Gabriel is asking about the New You scholarship and why won't it be considered before registration? It's because we want to do everything at once. So we can only apply a scholarship on an existing registration. And so we can't really consider that scholarship if there's no registration associated with it.
Cool. So I got Leo, kind of touched on projects already. Israel's Fusion. What do you suggest for those who don't have coding experience? You're on YouTube. After this, type in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or type in what is HTML, and just start learning and see if it engages your brain. If you like it, or if you think it's boring, maybe this isn't the path for you. But if you don't have any coding experience at all, check out some of the free resources that are available. And then lastly, CZ. Do we have classmates, and are we able to study together? Ludo kind of touched on that. Yes, humans do learn socially, as Ludo is fond of saying. There's a psychological aspect to it. You have 12 people in your class, and students frequently get together and make their own kind of study hall, study groups as well.
Thank you. Hey, it's already time. And there's one last question that's going to be a great segue. Do you have another open house coming up soon? Yes, we do. Next week, next Thursday, same time. So if we didn't get to your questions today, sorry for that. You can actually email us. We'll get to that. Or you can go online and maybe you'll actually have a chance to talk to Zandra online. She's actually on the web as well. Or join us next week, same time. And I hope to see you soon on our Slack. Thank you, Zandra, for being with me today. Really, really appreciate it as always.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everyone. See ya.